The Sea Peoples were a group of tribes hypothesized to have attacked Egypt and other eastern Mediterranean regions around 1200 BC during the Late Bronze Age. The hypothesis was first proposed by the 19th-century Egyptologists Emmanuel de Rouge and Gaston Maspero, on the basis of primary sources such as the reliefs on the mortuary temple of Ramesses III at Medinet Habu. Subsequent research developed the hypothesis further, attempting to link these sources to other Late Bronze Age evidence of migration, piracy, and destruction. While initial versions of the hypothesis regarded the Sea Peoples as a primary cause of the Late Bronze Age collapse, more recent versions generally regard them as a symptom of events which were already in motion before their purported attacks. The Sea Peoples included well-attested groups such as the Luca, as well as others such as the Wishesh, whose origins are unknown. Hypotheses regarding the origin of the various groups are the source of much speculation. Several of them appear to have been Aegean tribes, while others may have originated in Sicily, Sardinia, Cyprus, and western Anatolia. The concept of the Sea Peoples was first proposed by Emmanuel de Rouge, curator of the Louvre, in his 1855 work, Note on Some Hieroglyphic Texts, recently published by Mr. Green, as an interpretation of the battles of Ramesses III described on the second pylon at Medinet Habu, based upon recent photographs of the temple by John Beasley Green. De Rouge noted that, in the crests of the conquered peoples, the Sherdon and the Teresh bear the designation of the pupils de la mer, in a reference to the prisoners depicted at the base of the fortified East Gate. In 1867, de Rouge published his excerpts of a dissertation on the attacks directed against Egypt by the peoples of the Mediterranean in the 14th century BC, which focused primarily on the battles of Ramesses II and Merneptah, and which proposed translations for many of the geographic names included in the hieroglyphic inscriptions. De Rouge later became chair of Egyptology at the Collège de France and was succeeded by Gaston Maspero. Maspero built upon de Rouge's work and published The Struggle of the Nations, in which he described the theory of the seaborne migrations in detail in 1895-96 for a wider audience, at a time when the idea of population migrations would have felt familiar to the general population. The migration theory was taken up by other scholars such as Edouard Meyer and became the generally accepted theory amongst Egyptologists and Orientalists. Since the early 1990s, however, it has been brought into question by a number of scholars. The list of Sea Peoples groups includes some which are securely identified and others which are not. Luca. The Luca people are known from numerous other Hittite and ancient Egyptian records. While the Luca lands were located in the later region of Lycia, Luca people appear to have been highly mobile. The Luca were never a unified kingdom, instead having a decentralized political structure. The Luca people were famously fractious, with Hittite and Egyptian records describing them as raiders, rebels, and pirates. Luca people fought against the Hittites as part of the Asua Confederation, later fought for the Hittites in the Battle of Kadesh. Karkia. Karkia was a region in western Anatolia known from references in Hittite and Egyptian records. Karkia was governed by a council of chiefs rather than a king, and was not a unified political entity. The Karkians had relations with the Hittite Empire, but were never part of the empire proper. Relations with the Hittites had ups and downs, and Karkian soldiers fought for the Hittites at the Battle of Kadesh, most likely as mercenaries. The name has been argued to be related to later terms for Korea, though the linguistic connection is not certain. Wishesh.